All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready. What fascinating corner of history are we exploring today?
Well, today we're journeying to ancient China. We're going to delve into some captivating Chinese mythology.
Oh, I love those stories. They're always so rich with symbolism and meaning.
Exactly. And the figure we'll be focusing on today is Emperor Ku, a legendary ruler believed to have reigned around 2436 to 2366 BCE.
Emperor Ku, wow, that's way back. He must have left quite a legacy.
Absolutely. He's considered a descendant of the Yellow Emperor, another pivotal figure in Chinese mythology, and is renowned for his incredibly peaceful and prosperous reign. He's actually credited with establishing some of the earliest social and cultural institutions in ancient China.
Setting the foundations for a whole civilization, pretty impressive. So where do we start with this deep dive into Emperor Ku's story?
Well, we have this excerpt, and it really paints a vivid picture of his reign and the impact he had. And trust me, some of these stories are just wild, almost unbelievable.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Let's hear it.
Even his birth story is incredible. Imagine a baby born with symbols of the sun and moon on his forehead.
Whoa, that's a pretty strong sign right there. I could see why he was destined for greatness.
Right, and it doesn't stop there. He is also said to be surrounded by a five-colored aura, which in Chinese mythology often signifies exceptional power or virtue.
That makes sense. So he was basically marked for greatness from the get-go.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And get this, even as a kid, Diku was brilliant. He mastered astronomy, geography, music, even agriculture, all before most kids learn their ABCs.
Wow, he was like a child prodigy on another level. But what about his reign as emperor? What made it so special?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting. One of the most striking things about Diku's rule was its emphasis on harmony. Think peace, prosperity, the whole package.
A harmonious society. It's a beautiful ideal. But how did he actually achieve this?
He had some pretty innovative methods for his time. He was a huge believer in the power of rituals and music to bring order to society.
Oh, that's fascinating. So it wasn't just about entertainment. There was a deeper purpose.
Absolutely. Remember, we're talking about ancient China. Music and rituals were deeply intertwined with their beliefs about the universe and maintaining balance.
It makes sense. Everything was connected to their understanding of the cosmos. But how did music and rituals actually promote harmony?
Well, they believed that these practices could align people with the natural order of things, bringing a sense of unity and stability. And Diku took this very seriously. He actually had this incredibly talented musician, Kai Kui, compose music so beautiful and powerful that it supposedly attracted mythical creatures like the phoenix.
Wow, that's an incredible image. So it wasn't just any music, it was something truly extraordinary.
Exactly. It was music designed to resonate with the very essence of the universe, restoring balance and harmony.
That's amazing. You know, it reminds me of the concept of Tao, the natural order or a way of the universe that's central to Taoist philosophy. Was Diku's approach influenced by these ideas?
It's very likely. While we don't have direct evidence, it's important to remember that ancient Chinese thought was a blend of various philosophical and spiritual ideas. So Diku's emphasis on harmony definitely resonates with these core concepts that would later shape Chinese culture.
It's incredible how these ancient ideas still resonate today. But tell me, was Diku's reign all about ceremonies and mystical creatures? What about the practical side of ruling a vast empire?
Oh, he definitely didn't neglect the practical aspects. This excerpt actually highlights his contributions to agriculture, which were quite significant.
Oh, that's interesting. Agriculture was the backbone of any ancient society. What did he do?
Well, for starters, he used his knowledge of astronomy to guide farmers, resulting in bumper crops and food security for everyone. He also implemented a system of marriage with specific rituals and guidelines, aiming to promote social stability.
Wow, it's amazing how he approached everything so strategically. He seemed to understand that a thriving society needs more than just food, it needs social order as well.
Precisely. He was thinking about all the elements necessary to create a truly harmonious society. And there's this one story about Diku that really highlights his character, the story about the drought.
A drought? That must have been devastating for an agricultural society. What happened?
It was a terrible time. Crops were failing, people were suffering, and the situation was dire. But what's remarkable is that Diku didn't just sit in his palace issuing orders. He personally went out into the fields, experiencing the hardship alongside his people.
Wow, that's impressive. He didn't shy away from the suffering of his people. He was right there with them.
Exactly. It demonstrated his empathy and his commitment to his people. He ordered the construction of irrigation canals to address the water shortage, and even opened up the palace grain stores to feed everyone.
He was willing to share what he had to help his people. That speaks volumes about his leadership.
It does. And, it's said that his actions were so sincere that they actually moved the heavens, bringing the rain back and ending the drought.
Now, whether you take that literally or not, it really speaks to the power of his actions and the impact they had on people.
It's a powerful story. And it reminds us that true leadership isn't about staying aloof and detached. It's about being present with your people, sharing their struggles, and taking action to alleviate their suffering.
It's a timeless lesson. And it's interesting how this story connects to the concept of the mandate of heaven, a key idea in Chinese political thought.
Oh, absolutely. The mandate of heaven was this belief that a ruler's right to rule was granted by heaven and could be revoked if they failed to act justly and in the best interests of their people.
So by showing such compassion and taking action during the drought, Diku was essentially proving his worthiness to rule.
Exactly. He wasn't just a ruler, he was a servant of his people, responsible for their well-being.
That's such a powerful concept, and it makes you think about leadership in a different light. But there's more to Diku's legacy, right? Didn't he also make significant contributions to education?
He did. This excerpt emphasizes how important education was to him. He established schools throughout his realm, teaching everything from poetry and history to proper conduct and moral principles. He was really invested in creating a well-rounded and educated populace.
That's incredible. He seemed to understand that a society's strength lies in the knowledge and character of its people. A ruler who invests in education is investing in the future.
It's like he laid the groundwork for a flourishing culture. And it's all the more remarkable considering how long he reigned. Over 100 years. That's almost unimaginable.
You're telling me? And he supposedly lived to be 160 years old and died peacefully. It's no wonder he was revered as a legendary figure, with shrines and temples erected in his honor, and tales of his deeds passed down through generations.
It's clear that he left an indelible mark on Chinese culture. But I think what truly makes Diku's story so compelling is that it's not just about his accomplishments, but about the kind of leader he was. Wise, compassionate, dedicated to his people's well-being. These are qualities that transcend time, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The legend of Diku embodies this timeless yearning for a leader who possesses both intelligence and kindness, someone who genuinely cares about the welfare of their people. It's a hope that resonates across cultures and throughout history. What do you think made Emperor Ku such a respected figure, and what lessons can we draw from his story about leadership and governance, even in today's world?
Those are excellent questions to ponder. Emperor Ku might be a figure from ancient mythology, but the values he represents, wisdom, compassion, and an unwavering dedication to the people, those are values that never go out of style. If you're interested in learning more about Emperor Ku and the amazing world of Chinese mythology, I encourage you to explore further. There's a treasure trove of stories and wisdom waiting to be discovered.
A treasure trove indeed. And remember, everyone, these stories hold valuable insights that can inspire us, challenge us, and even guide us as we navigate our own lives and societies.
Until next time.
Happy exploring.